morning, everyone, and thanks for coming out for this exciting reground-breaking, I guess would be the technical term, as ground was broken here way back when this campus was begun. This is one of the original buildings on campus from the early 50s, and it's so exciting to have an opportunity to update it. I want to welcome many students who are here, faculty and staff, distinguished guests, and we have a number of them who will be introduced here over the next few minutes. Thanks very much for coming. It's my honor and tremendous privilege to welcome you here today to commemorate the reground-breaking here at this ceremony of the future Paul and Mary Calice and Mildred Barton Advanced Manufacturing Center. Really exciting opportunity for the college and the region. I want to recognize the elected officials who are here today, some who will speak, but we have Mayors Deemy and Bertoni here, the head of our, elected in a way like me, Jennifer Conway, the head of our Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for coming. And others will be introduced here along the way who will speak. You probably know, if you've been on the campus at all, you probably know this building by its current name. We have interesting names for our buildings here. This is the mechanical building. Now, usually mechanical buildings house your power and your HVAC and all that kind of stuff. That's not the case. It's really mechanical engineering was the impetus for this building. As I mentioned, among the first to be built here on the campus after it was established in 1956. Generations of SUNY Broome students attended classes here, en route to becoming future engineers, technicians, and in other fields. In fact, until we started the renovation project this summer, alumni could visit the very lockers that were here in the 1950s. Well, that's great for nostalgia. It also demonstrates how badly renovations were needed in this building. By their very nature, by the nature of most fields today, but especially STEM fields, and the careers of the future that we educate them for, they need classrooms and labs of the future to go along with the great classroom instruction that we provide here. This $12.5 million project is currently underway, addresses those needs, as well as the needs of local employers for the manufacturing workforce of today and tomorrow. The Calice Center will include state-of-the-art classroom and lab space, including more than a half dozen labs used by our engineering technologies programs, and an advanced manufacturing lab with its own computer control room, and just short of $1 million of new equipment. There will be brand new facilities too, such as a high-tech soldering lab funded by Empire State Development, a clean room funded by a SUNY 2020 grant with its own gowning room and airlock, and 2 food science labs, one for fermentation and the other for food processing. The first time the college has moved into the area of agriculture and food in a formal way, given its great importance to this region today and will be even more important in the future. So you might ask, why food science in an advanced manufacturing center? The Southern Tier is a major food hub for the entire state, and food manufacturing is one of the region's most significant industries, according to the Department of Labor. This industry supports a large number of jobs regionally and is a critical part of the region's economic engine, and was one of the major legs in the economic development stool when we won that $500 million URI a year or so ago. And we're proud to be a part of that piece of economic development here in the region. The current walkway that connects this building with our business building, if you've been over around in the little quad, or we have lots of quads now, which is nice for a campus, will be preserved as part of an airy atrium that will provide additional attractive space for students to gather. The exterior will be revitalized as well, creating a plaza area with pavers, benches, and planters, much like you see here, but on the other side. And we will also add another entrance to this side of the building, giving students easier access. I don't even know if there was a rear entrance to this building in the past. And while all buildings include heating, air conditioning, electrical systems, of course, and updated when you renovate. We are beyond proud of this one because it will have such an impact on our carbon footprint, a good impact on our carbon footprint. Thanks to a $1 million grant from NYSERDA, the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority, we're installing a geothermal heating and cooling system under the quad over there, which sadly is fenced off for this year for that reason as we dig the geothermal wells, but we'll also be adding solar arrays to power this building and probably, if not all of another building, certainly partially another building with the geothermal and solar that we'll be adding with this project. Not only the music to a president's ears, because operational costs are the hardest for us to come by, not only will this project save an estimated $200,000 to $300,000 a year in energy costs, we'll avoid sending 135 metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions into the atmosphere annually. I mean, this is such a win-win-win. And then the solar and the geothermal will become labs for our engineering and engineering technology students. So it's just an incredible synergy with this building that we'll be achieving when it opens. So students, if you're here, we'll have a quad for you next summer. I'm sorry that, because that's such a great area for romping around as students that we don't have access to, but with the long term, the decades of benefits that will provide the college is just immeasurable. It's hard to believe how fast this project is progressing. We started work on it weeks ago. I always throw up a cheer when all those window air conditioners come out, because that's a double win. They're expensive in the summer and they're drafty in the winter. So it's wonderful to see those come out. None of this would have been possible without critical financial support from SUNY and the state of New York, as always, the Broome Community College Foundation, more on that in a minute, NYSERDA, as I mentioned, Empire State Development, and Broome County. We are deeply grateful for all of their generosity. And now it's my honor, speaking of the name of the building and our foundation's involvement, to introduce the president of the SUNY Broome Foundation Board, Ken Kidder. Come on up, Ken.
Thank you, President Drum, and good morning. On behalf of the Broome Community College Foundation, I am thrilled to be here today for the groundbreaking of the Paul and Mary Calice and Mildred Barton Advanced Manufacturing Center. As with so many things at SUNY Broome, the foundation is a proud partner on this project. Our funding, however, was made possible by the generosity of one man, Emil Calice. Mr. Calice isn't a SUNY Broome alumnus, although his nieces and nephews did attend this school. So you can imagine our surprise when the career IBMer made an estate gift to us that ultimately added up to more than $11 million. It was not only the largest philanthropic gift in our history, but also the largest ever presented by an individual to a SUNY community college. And it has been truly transformational. Every year, the foundation awards Calice scholarships to 80 students. Yes, 80, allowing them to pursue their educational dreams. It's a goal close to the heart of Mr. Calice, who had attended classes in several colleges starting from his time in the Army during World War II. In addition to scholarships, Mr. Calice's gift also included the possibility of funding a building, provided that this building was named after Paul and Mary Calice and Mildred Barton. Paul and Mary Calice were Emil's parents, Italian immigrants whose story mirrors that of so many Americans, hardworking, family-oriented, and self-sacrificing. They started their American lives in Michigan, where Emil was born. Fearing that her sons would end up working in the mines, Mary Calice raised what money she could by doing laundry and by taking in boarders. And the family eventually saved enough money to remake their lives in Binghamton. The Calices ran a corner store on Susquehanna Street and raised their family. 5 of their 5 sons served in World War II, including Emil, who lost his brother James in the war. Emil Calice started at IBM before the war, and people from the company kept in touch with him during his 2.5 years in the service until he returned to IBM to resume his career. One of them was Millie Barton, who worked at IBM during those years to further the war effort. Millie, who was a meals companion in her later years, was a passionate naturalist and gardener, as well as a philanthropist who donated to many charities. The Binghamton Zoo at Ross Park was particularly close to her heart. Paul and Mary Calice and Mildred Barton helped make Emil Calice the man he was, so it's fitting that he chose to keep their names alive forever through his gift. They exemplify the virtues of hard work and generosity, much as Mr. Calice did himself. Their story is also the story of the Binghamton era, and we're a part of this story now too. And while we are deeply grateful to Mr. Calice, we're also grateful to the many donors who support the foundation, no matter the amount they give. Your gifts support the educational aspirations of the SUNY Broome students, not only through direct scholarships, but through projects like this, which provide the facilities and equipment they need to be at the top of their fields. Thank you all for coming out and showing your support today, and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Ken, and I want to take this opportunity again to express our deep appreciation to our foundation for their help making this project possible. So many projects on this campus would not have been possible, or wouldn't have been possible at the level that we're able to undertake them without the support of our foundation and capital projects. And you heard about the at least the 80 scholarships that the Calice gift is supporting, and many others. In total, around $1 million that we receive every year for scholarships for our students, and we can't thank our foundation enough. And now, before I introduce the chairman of our board, Margaret Coffey, I want to recognize Angelo Mastrangelo, another board member who's here with us. Thanks for coming, Angelo. And Margaret, it's your turn.
As chair of the SUNY Board of Trustees, I'm delighted to welcome distinguished guests, faculty, staff, and students here today. The project has been a long time coming and so much needed, as you can see. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I want to thank everyone who helped make this day possible, from the BCC Foundation and their board of directors to the SUNY 2020 and SUNY Capital Programs, Empire State Development, NYSERDA, and Broome County, and all which provided the necessary funding for this project. We couldn't do it without you. I would also like to give the board its deepest thanks and appreciation to President Drum for his leadership, the campus operations staff for their essential work on this project, and the faculty, staff, and students who have gracefully adapted to the disruptions and relocations that a project of this scale inevitably brings. The board and truly the entire campus community is looking forward to a year from now when we cut the ribbon for the Paul and Mary Calice and Mildred Barton Advanced Manufacturing Center. My goodness. And beyond that, we look forward to the first day of fall semester next year, when the students will see their new classroom and lab space for the first time and feel secure that they're being well prepared for careers of the future. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here on such a great occasion. You know, SUNY Broome has always been on the cutting edge of providing the best education to the students that come here, and actually, I think possibly even another year, one of the few community colleges showing increase in applications and accepting students. So we're growing, and it's through the innovation of and support of people like Dr. Drum, the SUNY board, the trustees, all the faculty that do such a fine job here, that we're able to see this growth and take advantage of things like this. And certainly, you know, my thanks go out to Paul and Mary Calice and Mildred Barton, the families that have made this possible as far as the foundation, the scholarships and everything. So it's very good, and I'm very pleased to see the agricultural piece, the food piece come in, because as Dr. Drum said, the Southern Tier is a producer of a lot of great foodstuffs. And why shouldn't we, again, be on the cutting edge of doing certain things and teaching students how to manage and prepare and you know, innovative ideas as far as our local food. So I'm so pleased to be here, and I want to congratulate everybody that's involved. and look forward to the ribbon cutting ceremony so we can have a tour through the facility that will take us well into this century and beyond possibly. So thank you and congratulations.
Yes, enrollment is up again this year, and in fact, noticeably this year, and we're always thankful for that, with more and more folks interested in studying at this great institution. And now it's our honor to introduce another member of the great New York State Assembly and a terrific supporter of SUNY Broome and many other organizations and initiatives here in the Southern Tier, representing the district just to the south of us, where we are now located in the Kaufman Incubator, and soon in the old Carnegie Library. So we do have a footprint now in Assemblywoman Donna Lupardo's district. Come on up, Donna.
I think what we're experiencing here is a grand connecting of the dots. When you can get all of these partners on the same page between SUNY Foundation, NYSERDA, the county, Empire State Development, all of you, all of us, all connected to this project, you know you're on the right track. So to that extent, congratulations to everyone who had something to do with this. It's also a grand connecting of the development of important skills that are needed for the careers that are available and that are trending and that have great economic potential for our community. This isn't just a great idea. This is needed. And it can't happen soon enough because of that very demand that we are experiencing. I'm also especially pleased that there is going to be, at long last, a food component here. We have undervalued, honestly, and underappreciated agriculture across the board in our community. And I have embraced agriculture, even though I have very few farms in my district. As you know, I do have a lot of people who eat. And they eat yogurt, and they eat a lot of things, and they're drinking and enjoying the craft beverage industry. And to the extent that this will help further those careers, another congratulations for connecting those dots. And lastly, you're connecting community leaders, community members, faculty, staff, board, all these folks behind a vision for the community that is much broader than we have had in the past. And the fact that we're expanding our view to include this type of expansion, the food development, and all the various labs is really very uplifting for all of us. So I'm very pleased and proud to be a part of the team. And you all should feel very good about this very, very needed project that we will welcome when it comes to fruition very shortly. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Donna. And now, batting cleanup, the main reason we're here, representing our academic affairs here at the college, someone who really needs no introduction to most people in this community, our Executive Vice President, Dr. Francis Battisti.
Dr. Drum mentioned our lockers. My locker left a few years ago when we redid the Wales building, and I really haven't missed it. So it's I'd like to add my welcome to everyone here today on this monumental day. This is amazing and fantastic. We're thrilled to see the work begin on this project, and not just because it gets rid of our 1950-era lockers, but truly is nothing less than a transformation of our current space and will make such a difference for our students, our faculty, and ultimately the student careers. Today, we're really helping them create their futures. This project will make SUNY Binghamton, that's interesting, SUNY Broome's academic programs in the STEM fields more competitive and increase the quality of education for our students.
It will make theirs more competitive, too.
That's right. It'll add to theirs, transfer over. Our students, after all, are training for the careers of the future, and they will need classrooms and lab space to address their needs. The mechanical building has had a long history. It's been the home of our engineering tech programs, which were among the first to begin when the college was established in 1946. These programs are deeply entwined in the college's history and mission. One of our early nicknames, and I remember this, State Tech and then Broome Tech, and our first mascot was the Technicat, and our first student newspaper was the Tech Talk. I remember the Tech Talk, boy. When you think of the world at that time, just after the World War II, when young people headed to college in great numbers thanks to the GI Bill, that focus on technology makes sense. It was the heyday of Big Blue in the industrial era. Technology is, of course, still critical today, and graduates with STEM degrees are in demand. How much demand? There are actually more companies in this region looking for people with technical degrees than students in our programs. These programs that lead to real jobs often right after graduation. In fact, most of our students in these programs have jobs before they graduate. That being said, the technology of today is far different from our Broome Tech days. Manufacturing relies on heavily on computers and computer programming. And the smartphone you hold in your hand today can do far more in less time than massive mainframes that used to fill entire rooms, in fact, the entire basement of the business building. The Paul and Mary Calice and Mildred Barton Advanced Technology Center is more than just Mechanical Building 2.0. It will better prepare our students for vibrant, demanding careers while also meeting the needs of local employers for a skilled and technologically savvy workplace. Once again, thank you for joining us, and I just want to put another shout out to the family, how appreciative we are. And I never met Mr. Calice, but the humility, we were just talking, his name's not on the building, but other people who helped create him. And that's actually what education is about, helping create people. So we really, again, want to thank you.
Thank you, Francis, very, very much. I want to take an opportunity to emphasize something that Assemblywoman Lepardo brought up. I am always struck by the number of organizations and people who come together to pull together a project like this. It's really amazing. At every one of these, I say it truly takes a village, and it takes beyond our academic community, but our Board of Trustees for their vision and support of this project, our foundation and their Board of Directors, the late Emile Calice for the generous estate gift, which funded a major portion of this and led to the naming. And we do have the honor of having with us Mr. Calice's nephew, Roger, his wife, Ann, and their granddaughter, Rachel, who are here with us today. Please join us in thanking the Calice family. A truly transformational gift that all of the Calice family participated in. I want to thank Governor Cuomo and the state of New York, our SUNY 2020 program, our community college capital program, NYSERDA, our county executive Jason Garner, and our Broome County legislature, the Southern Tier Regional Economic Development Council, Empire State Development, our state legislators, Senator Akshar and Assembly people Donna Lepardo and Clifford Crouch, the architects behind the project, Passero Associates, our engineering firm, McFarland Johnson, and construction management, LaChase. Our contractors on the project, which include Streeter Associates, folks are here, Postler and Jaco, Petkoski and Sons, Nelcorp Electrical. Our former Dean of STEM, Kelly Legaikis, had a lot with the design, a lot to do with the design of this building as a civil engineer. Could hardly have been better placed as our STEM Dean at the time. And our current interim Dean of STEM, Ken Mansfield. And our Director of Operations, Dave Legaikis, all in the family here at SUNY Broome, and in so many ways. Unfortunately, they had a family emergency and had to head south for an in-law. And our campus operations staff who work with Dave now, who do a tremendous job around here. When you look, and we have a skeleton staff on our maintenance and facilities crew, and they do an awesome job taking care of the campus. And just the logistics of moving everybody out of this building temporarily into the old science building, we tend to take that for granted because it kind of happens. It took months and months of logistical planning to move the staff and equipment and classrooms and labs and everything we needed temporarily over to our old science building. And we thank our Dave Legaikis and our maintenance staff for leading that effort, and the volunteer work of our faculty and staff who helped move their stuff over to the old science building. So now we're going to conclude, and I look forward to seeing you all at our grand opening next summer, probably early in the fall when we have more faculty and staff around. And those of you who are here, who are part of any of the entities that we listed, please hang around for pictures for our formal actual re-groundbreaking ceremony right over here. Thank you all for coming very much, and let's move over here for pictures and our groundbreaking.